Hello and welcome to ACS Golf and today's review, which has been released at midnight on Friday in the UK, which is going to mean one thing: it is a brand new or a current club, so the current model which is on sale in the shops, and it is this. It is the Mizuno ST-Max 230 fairway wood. Now, I picked this up to review for you guys because if you haven't seen my channel before, basically I will keep on going on about how good I think Mizuno are. I've been playing Mizuno irons for years until recently. More on that probably in next year, so 2025. But also their fairway woods, their woods are very good. Their hybrids are now good. Their fairway woods are good. Their drivers are really up there nowadays for distances. Really matching sort of technically the big boys. Your TaylorMade, your Callaways, your Titleis's, etc. Personally, I even played a Mizuno ST-X a couple of years ago and absolutely loved it. Best feeling driver I think I've ever played with, to be honest. Really do love them. And I wanted to pick this up for the channel for you guys to see how well it performs and potentially to put it in my bag, because my biggest, well, basically the club in my bag that changes the most, if you watch what's in my bag for me, is always the fairway wood. So it's that top end, driver I nailed down this year, the hybrid I nailed down, the 4-iron, the iron, everything was nailed down this year apart from the fairway wood, which has kept on changing. It is my problem club. And so, I've gone tour player sort of style, that smaller head, less forgiveness, but more workability. And then I've gone back to sort of max forgiveness, etc. like that. I was hoping this, being that sort of max forgiving club, would be a really good option for me, to help me with those missed hits, because I am very much still your average golfer. I'm, low handicap playing off 8 at the moment. So I'm not going to hit the middle of the face every single time, which is why I do these reviews, to be fair, so you guys can see an actual person who, amateur golfer goes and plays these clubs, how they perform, rather than the PGA professional who's just going to be hitting that point every single time. And then we'll go, it's got great forgiveness because I've missed the centre by a millimetre. So there you go, that's the whole point of the channel if you're new to it. So yeah, so as always with these reviews, what I'm going to do is we're going to have a closer look at this club. Actually, let's be honest, as Mizuno's always have done, it's absolute beauty. Then we're going to come back here, I'm going to go through the technologies in this, then get down to the range, going to throw some figures at you, and then get back here for the ACS Golf Scale and my overall thoughts about this club. I'm also going to do a quick compare of this against the Mizuno ST-G Titanium that came out sort of roughly the same time, which I actually played with this year as well. So we'll compare the ACS Golf Scale between those two clubs. It's quite an interesting read, that one. But anyway, without further ado, let's have a closer look at this club. So there you go, a really nice, clean looking club. I mean, Mizuno really hasn't changed the looks for years now, especially on the top there. But I think it's quite good, but maybe, might be nice for them to spice it up a little bit, but we'll talk more about that when we get to the ACS Golf Scale. Now, if you don't know about the ST-Max range, basically it was Mizuno's, maximum forgiveness, maximum MOI range, that they released this year. The same as your Ping 10Ks, same as your TaylorMade 10Ks, Max, The only thing about it, they don't actually say they got to 10K with the driver, which is a bit of a weird one. I will say I have reviewed the driver actually, so do check the channel out for that. But the same principle is there, maximum MOI. And that's the same for this fairway wood. So if we go into technology for it, we've got ST-Max 230 fairway woods. So max MOI, max stability. So there you go. A large footprint, wide profile fairway wood engineered to deliver absolute straight line performance from across the club face. A high energy MAS1C steel face is enhanced by an expanded Cortex chamber. There you go. That idea of a lot of clubs, we have that sort of chamber or, I don't know, bar across the bottom to help with that low hits, to keep that ball speed up. Shifted closer to the club face to increase both centre and off-centre ball speed. A speed beveler applied to the leading edge ensures that performance is equally impressive from tee and turn. A wraparound toe composite completes weighting improvements with the collective aim of delivering an impressive, straight, predictable ball flight. So there you go. So we even say from like Mizuno Golf here, Chris Warshall, probably said his name wrong. I do apologise, Chris, if you ever watch this video. The ST-Max stands as a high MOI design. We've had genuine curiosity from our tour staff, a consequence of making sure the profile still looks good over the ball and the speed is there, without retaining the other performance traits of a great fairway wood. An extra few point on the MOI scale means very little. So basically they're saying, look, we have increased it, but the whole point is, you know, it still performs really well. So yes, the max MOI is there, but it's still going to have good distance, still going to have good feel, etc. You know, because that's one thing I'll say about your older clubs is when they went really big into the MOI. So I think the Ping G400 Max, you know, that driver was max MOI just under that 10,000K mark, well, 10,000 mark for MOI. But the distance wasn't quite there. It span quite a bit. You know, it was too high spinning. So if you're a really good player, you couldn't use it. While nowadays, you know, they're really maxing out the MOI again. You know, Ping, for example, their 10K one, but they're keeping the spin low. So your better players can use them now. But then that might affect your average player. So it's sort of a hit and miss, really. For some players, it'll help. For other players, it won't. But anyway, just going right really into technology. So max stability, so wide profile, large footprint with a wraparound toe composite for extreme twist resistant to off-center strikes and a straight predictable ball flight. There you go, it's all about all this technology here. You can see it coming around there, just sort of there. Expanded Cortex chamber. So Cortex been around for a couple of years now with Mizuno. A dense stainless steel weight with elastomeric TPU taking stress from the club face and creating additional energy source. Lengthened in the ST-Max and shifted closer to the club face and retained ball speed across a wider proportion of the club face. So basically, they just made this Cortex chamber bigger. You can sort of see to be better. You know, for something at the front, you know, your speed pocket tailor-made, sort of similar. You know, that's a hefty chunk of the club face there. High energy MAS1 seat steel face I mentioned, so incorporating Mizuno's multi-thickness design for quicker ball speed across the face while maintaining strength and durability. All the clubs do this multi-thickness face design now to help that, so nothing new there. Speed bevel, a modification to the leading edge ensures cleaner turf interaction and speed retained on strikes direct from turf. So, you know, they've done a little, rounded that bottom out a little bit to help with that turf interaction, which is great because, you know, one thing, you know, if you're a high handicapper, you're going to struggle to probably take your fairway wood off the fairway, basically. You know, a lot of people will have a fairway wood in their bag for basically using off the tee. If the driver's not working, they might not necessarily have the confidence to use it off the turf. So anything like that to help, great, can't complain. And then you've got the quick switch hosel, so 4 degrees of adjustability. So in this case, being a 3 wood, so 15 degrees, I could shift it all the way up to 17.25 degrees. Does close the face though, so lie angle does change to 59.5 degrees and the face angle is -3, so it is going to maybe want to draw a little bit more. If you decrease the loft, you can go all the way down to 12.75 degrees. Face angle then is 3 degrees more open, which can, you know, help a little bit more of a fade. And your line obviously changes a little bit as well. So you do have that great adjustability as Mizuno's already had. However, you know, we're starting to get to a stage where a lot of them, like Titleist Cobra, are bringing out a new adapter nowadays where you can change the loft, but you're not necessarily changing the line, which is really, really good because, you know, personally for me, if I play a 3 wood like this, it's adjustable, I tend to crank it up to a 4 wood, so around the 16, maybe even close to a 5 wood 17, but still got the long shaft to really increase that ball speed. You see my stance, it's very closed. I always hit a draw anyway, so suddenly if the face is closed even more, I'm just going to be pushing out even more to the left, which I don't want. So not the end of the world. I had to use this on the golf course and it wasn't a huge issue. Well, I really noticed on the golf course, to be fair. It actually turned out pretty well. So yeah, not a huge issue, but do be aware of that. You know, if you're already quite a big draw of the ball and you want to lock this up, you might actually kick it to the left a little bit more than you want. But there you go. So there's the technology that is in this Mizuno STX, not the STX. STX is the draw buyers version. No, the ST-Max 230. All right. let's get down to the range now. I'm going to throw some figures at you, and then we'll come back here for the ACS golf scale. All right, see you in a bit.
Here I am down at the range with the club on a cold winter's day. Now let's jump straight into those figures. So on average I had a carry of 191 yards, total distance 217 yards, ball speed 133 miles per hour, launch angle 13 and height 54 feet. Now to be honest, not that upset about those figures. You know, this is winter now, the ball's not going to be one that goes far because, let's be honest, my swing isn't going to be as quick. So overall, like, pretty happy with that. The launch was okay. I feel like, you know, for a club that's supposed to be really forgiving, it could have been a little bit better. You know, when I have this in 17 degrees, it's perfect, to be honest. Longest on the day was 227 yards. Total distance I was really happy with. Forgiveness, really good forgiveness, to be fair. I mean, I'm hitting this thing all over the face because it is winter and the swing is as dodgy as ever. But it's still consistent. You know, these shots were very consistent. So, you know, you can really tell it's a forgiving club. And also just really happy with the feel of it, to be honest. You know, it felt lovely. And that's exactly what I'd want from a Mizuno fairway wood, to be honest. So, yeah, generally very happy. Here's the figures in the table there. You know, as I mentioned, the average numbers. Longest, you know, really happy with that. 207 carry. You know, total distance 227. You know, that's when you get the launch angle just right. You know, 15 degrees, peak height 67. That's really what I'd want this club, you know, being that ultra forgiving, you know, club that's supposed to help you launch in the air, to be sort of 15 degrees on average, not 13. So a little bit disappointed by that. Short hit was a really poor hit, but, you know, still 210 total yards and the ball speed of 129. So just 4 down from the main average. So generally really happy again with this club.
So there you go. Not bad figures at all for a winter's day. You know, really normally in the summer when a bit more looser, I'd expect around 230 yards for a fairway wood, well, 3 wood on average, you know, total distance. That is, in winter, I'm probably more about that 220 mark, you know, a bit colder, the ball's colder. It's not going to go as far as we all know in winter golf in the UK. So, you know, 220, 225 sort of max out, I'd think. So 217 on average isn't that bad at all for a club that is very MOI heavy. So not that bad at all. And believe me, because of the cold and everything like that, I was pretty much hitting this all over the face. So really to test that forgiveness as well. So 217, not bad at all. We go into the ACS golf scale now. So we've got distance, feel, looks, price, and forgiveness. Remember, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. Distance wise, so I was actually testing the QI10 fairway wood as well, which is actually currently in my bag at the moment. And the longest on that was 230. And I always think TaylorMade, you know, really is sort of the pinnacle when it comes down to fairway woods. You know, they are probably one of the longest out there. So I got 230 total yards. This 227 when I really went for it. So really not that bad. 3 yards short. Well, 3 yards shorts. 3 yards shorter. I'm going to say shorts. Definitely not wearing shorts in the winter. So 3 yards shorter. But really not that bad at all. You know, it's only 3 yards. So pretty good. But then I really did go for it with the Mizuno. I feel like with TaylorMade, I was swinging quite naturally. So for distance wise, I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5. I definitely think there's some decent distance in this. But it is the highest MOI club out there, you know, against your QI10s, maybe not their QI10 most forgiving version, but against your QI10s, against your Titan, etc. I don't think it's going to be the longest, but then, you know, 3.5 out of 5 isn't that bad at all. You know, that is really good, to be honest. Moving on into feel, 4.5 out of 5. I love Mizuno's wood feels. If you never tried a Mizuno wood, do. They feel lovely. Very soft. And you can generally feel where you've hit it on the face as well. Not necessarily the most powerful feel like you maybe get from TaylorMade. Again, keep on going back to TaylorMade, but you get from TaylorMade. But you know, very soft feel, really, really nice. Very much like their iron sort of feel. I love it. Really do love them, and that's why I tend to always put a Mizuno in the bag, like I did with this, like I did with the Mizuno ST-G, and then go, oh, it's not quite working for me, but I really don't want to take it out now, so I really have to force it out of the bag just because I love the feel of them and the look of them. And the reason that I'd say this isn't probably working for me is this ling shaft. I don't like the ling shafts. Never have. Had one in my Cobra, changed to Ventus Blue and it became the best club in my bag for years. So there you go. But still, even with the shaft, really quite decent performance. So yeah, feel 4.5 out of 5. Looks, 4.5 out of 5. Really clean. Love the looks as expected from Mizuno. Maybe a little bit of a bigger profile than I want, so that's why I haven't gone for 5. Head cover, really nice looking head cover, but it just doesn't feel that premium for some reason. It's very stiff. Same with the drivers actually. Yeah, maybe a little bit softer would be a bit nicer. And they do look really nice. But yeah, so 4.5 out of 5. Love the looks of them. However, I will say I would quite like Mizuno in the future just to change things up a little bit. You know, the clubs have looked the same for a lot of years, especially over the top of the ball. You know, maybe do Cobra, maybe do a Taylor, maybe change them up a little bit. Just to, I don't know, just spice it up a bit. You know, used to have blue ones back in the day. I love the blue Mizuno drivers and blue fairway woods. Let's get a blue one back. Come on, do it, Mizuno, because I think that'd be really cool to get that back. Something a little bit different, because you have been very similar over the years. So even though it is in the moment, I love the look of them. I just want something a little bit newer, I think now. Just change it up for me. Come on, Mizuno, change it up. With all the technology still in there, though, obviously, because these are very good. Going on to forgiveness, as you'd expect, 4.5 out of 5. Very forgiving club. Like I mentioned, hit it all over the face. So yeah, you know, shortest on the day, 210, which was a horrendous hit. You know, ball speed only 129, but he still got the 210. You know, in a winter's day like today, you know, being that cold, I would take 210 with my fairway wood. You know, I'm not going to get my hybrid there, probably. I'm not going to get 4-iron there, as I, you know, a hybrid I normally would, but you know, in this sort of weather I probably wouldn't. So, you know, very happy with that. You know, always club down once in winter, so not bad at all. So yeah, 4.5 out of forgiveness, really good forgiveness. Do I think it's as forgiving as a ping? Not quite there. I don't think that's why I'm going at 4.5 out of 5. I could argue for a 5, to be honest. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. It launched pretty well because that's one thing I think when you look at fairways forgiveness, also the launch, how easy to get into the air. At 17 degrees, it worked perfectly for me. You know, I do struggle to get my ball in the air because of my tack angle. To close the face a little bit as I come around because of my swing, as you've all seen. Um, I did find this, I couldn't quite get it in the air as I wanted to. I think if I put a different shaft in it, probably would help. But because of that as well, I've given it 4.5 out of 5. I wanted to maybe be even easier to get this thing up in the air. So price now. Price given a 4 out of 5. UK, I think it's probably maybe a 3.5. Well, at the moment, or 3 really for a new club. It's sort of the price is there at the moment. So probably a 3 in the UK, I'd say. In America, it's a 5 out of 5. And I'll explain why. Because with new clubs, I always look at a new price. You can buy them new. While my second-hand videos, well, older clubs, always look at the sort of second-hand market, which I will delve in very shortly as well. So in the UK, sorry, it's a 3 out of 5. At the moment, they're going for around £229 in the UK. QI10 is £249, so pretty much where they should be. So yeah, 3 out of 5 rather than sort of 2.5 out of 5. In the US, I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 because on Mizuno's website right now, at the time of this video, you can pick this up for $180. That is an absolute bargain for something this forgiving, still really nice distance, great looks, great feel, beautiful club. That is an absolute bargain, you know, and you can change. They had options to change the shaft. I think they had options to change shaft, but you know, so you can pick the right shaft for you as well. And it's great, $180, 5 out of 5. If you're looking for a new fairway wood, max forgiveness, go and get it because it is an absolutely great price. Second-hand market in the UK at the moment, they're going for around £180, around sort of $225. So not bad at all. They are holding their value relatively okay. Which is actually quite good for Mizuno. Normally they do drop off quite a bit, but I think people are starting to learn that Mizuno woods really are good nowadays. So they're definitely holding their price a little bit more, which is good if you buy it and you just resell it. Because in the olden days, like a couple of years ago, you pick up a Mizuno wood, spend what, £350 on it, and you sell it for like £100 like 3 months later. You know, it really did drop down, but now they are definitely holding their price, especially with this ST-Max versions out there. So there you go. So there's the HS Golf Scale. Quick look between this and the Mizuno STG Titanium, which is very much their players sort of club, all titanium construction when that was. Also, you know, it's a smaller head, definitely more for your workability, etc., and appeal to your better players. Distance, this wasn't that far off it. You know, the STG was 4 out of 5. This is 3.5 out of 5. There you go. Feel, both 4.5 out of 5. Great feeling clubs. Looks, I gave it to the STG, 5 out of 5. Well, this was only 4.5 as I mentioned. Price, STG at the time was a bargain, an absolute bargain. So it's 4.5 out of 5, but this was a 4. And forgiveness, 4.5 out of 5. And the STG titanium was only a 3 because it is that better player club. But I will say, if you're in between those two and you're looking at Mizuno fairway woods and you're a better player, the STG gives you a lot more workability because it is that smaller shape. So if you want to move it around, you can with a lot of these. There is still some workability in it, 100%, but because of that larger profile and obviously the maximum forgiveness with the weight at the back, it's a little bit harder to do. So there is definitely differences. There's definitely pros for the STG and pros for this Mizuno ST-Max. So there you go. Just thought I'd put that in there because you know they are both two current models and I have reviewed them both. Just give you an idea between the two differences. Do check out the STG Titanium review, by the way, on the channel. I did love that club. I regret selling it. I always regret selling the Mizuno players, like sort of irons. I had the Tour Spec one, the ST200 Tour Spec as well, but it's probably not good enough to have them in a bag, even though I do love them. Down on to whether this would be going in a bag for me. Unfortunately, no. It's just a little bit too of a bigger profile. I want to loft it up, and I feel then it does go a little bit too left every now and again. Even though I said, of course, I didn't notice that much. I just feel like it does want to do it, and so it does mean I try and push it right, and that's the last thing you want to be doing. And I don't like the shaft. I really don't like those wing shafts. Got a Ventus one in it. Perhaps, you know, when they've got fitted for it and put Ventus one in it, I probably could get it to work really well. But at the moment, sticking with the QI10, it's just gone in the bag. But did enjoy having this in the bag. It is a great club, and a lot of you guys out there will absolutely love it. So do go and give it a try. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed my review of the Mizuno ST. I always want to say ST's head, but it's not. ST-Max 230 fairway wood. Leave a comment down below. You know, do you play Mizuno clubs? If you do, you know, what do you think of them? Also, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and remember to hit that subscription button if you're new to the channel. You know, let's try and get as many numbers as we can, definitely going into the end of this year and definitely into next. You know, more subscribers means I'll hopefully be able to pump out even more videos for you and maybe change a little bit there as well. Maybe get a few on-course videos as well out there. So do remember to hit that subscription button, guys. It would mean a lot. All right, so there you go. Hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you soon for the next ACS Golf video. See you then. Bye-bye.